Lieutenant James Torres was trying very hard not to panic, which was difficult when standing in the formal reception hall of the Velkari Imperial Palace being inspected by alien royalty, who could probably kill him without effort. He'd been extensively briefed on this moment. The entire human diplomatic delegation had spent 3 days preparing for the formal presentation to Princess Keira Valeth, second in line to the Velkari throne and commander of their third fleet. The briefings had been exhaustive. Proper forms of address, appropriate standing distance, the many ways cultural misunderstandings could derail the entire diplomatic mission. Humanity needed this alliance. The Velkari Empire controlled significant territory and possessed military capabilities that far exceeded current human technology. This diplomatic mission was about establishing formal relations, opening possibilities for trade and mutual defense, positioning humanity as a species worth taking seriously on the galactic stage. James was here as military liaison. His experience in joint operations with various alien species made him valuable for technical discussions about military cooperation. But he wasn't a diplomat. He didn't have the training or the temperament for elaborate social performances. He was trying his best to follow protocols while being acutely aware that he was the least qualified person in the delegation for formal diplomatic functions. Princess Keira moved down the line of human delegates, exchanging brief formal words with each. She was imposing, nearly 7 feet tall, with the distinctive pointed ears and deep purple skin of her species, wearing elaborate ceremonial armor that was clearly functional despite its ornate decoration. The armor was genuinely impressive. James had enough military equipment experience to recognize sophisticated craftsmanship when he saw it. The chest plate in particular was remarkable, intricate metalwork that managed to be both beautiful and clearly protective, etched with patterns that his briefing materials had identified as marking military achievements and house lineage. Princess Keira stopped in front of him, her violet eyes studying him, with an intensity that made James acutely aware of the physical capabilities differential between humans and Velkari. The moment stretched, and James, exhausted from 3 days of high-stakes diplomacy, stressed from constant pressure to not make mistakes, and genuinely impressed by the armor he was observing, spoke before his brain fully engaged. "Your chest is so impressive, Your Highness." The words left his mouth, and James's brain immediately caught up with horror. Not the professional comment about armor craftsmanship he'd intended, but something that sounded like inappropriate personal commentary to royalty who could destroy the diplomatic mission with a word. The room went absolutely silent. Every human in the delegation froze. James could feel their collective panic. He just said something that could be interpreted as offensive or inappropriate to Velkari royalty during the most important diplomatic function of the entire mission. Princess Keira went very still. Her expression was unreadable. Then she spoke in Velkari, rapid, formal phrases that James's translation earpiece rendered as, "You acknowledge my strength openly. You speak as one who sees worth without fear clouding observation. This is unexpected from human diplomat." James had no idea what she was actually saying. His translator was providing words, but the cultural context was completely absent. He was trying desperately to figure out how to apologize, how to clarify that he meant the armor, not anything personal. But before he could speak, Princess Keira continued, her tone shifting to something that might be intrigued. "Such acknowledgement invites challenge of intent. You will attend private audience. We will determine whether your words were spoken with courage or with ignorance." She moved on to the next person in the line, and the formal inspection continued. But James could feel every human in the delegation staring at him, with expressions ranging from horror to confusion, to Ambassador Chen's very pointed, "We will discuss this immediately, look." James had no idea what he'd just done, but he was certain it was either catastrophically stupid or potentially brilliant, and he wouldn't know which until someone explained what had actually happened. What exactly did you say to Princess Keira? Ambassador Chen asked the moment they were in private, his forced calm suggesting James had done something with significant implications. I commented on her chest armor, James explained, still mortified. I meant to compliment the craftsmanship. The metalwork is genuinely impressive, and I was trying to make appropriate professional observation about military equipment. But it came out wrong, and I think I said something offensive. You said your chest is impressive. Something like that, yes. I know how it sounds. Lieutenant Tors, do you have any idea what you just did? I offended Velkari royalty and possibly destroyed the diplomatic mission. You challenged her. Ambassador Chen's tone was difficult to interpret. In Velkari warrior culture, commenting on a warrior's chest, specifically using the phrasing you used, is an acknowledgement of their strength and worth. It's not about the armor. It's about the warrior wearing it. And it's something that's only said between equals or by someone declaring they see the other person as an equal worth challenging. James processed this. I didn't intend to challenge anyone. I was commenting on armor craftsmanship. The translation doesn't work that way. Velkari don't separate the warrior from their armor. The armor is an extension of the warrior, a display of their achievements. Commenting on the chest specifically is acknowledging the warrior's core strength, their heart in battle. It's intimate in ways you didn't intend. So I accidentally said something highly inappropriate. You accidentally issued what amounts to a formal challenge. Not a challenge to combat, but a challenge of intent. You've essentially declared that you see her as an equal and that you're not afraid to acknowledge her strength directly. Ambassador Chen paused. People don't usually say such things to royalty unless they're extremely confident in their own worth or extremely stupid. I'm definitely the second one. Maybe. Or maybe you've accidentally done something that could strengthen our position. The princess has granted you a private audience. That's rare. She's intrigued rather than offended, but that audience is going to be a test. She's going to determine whether you spoke with courage or with ignorance. Over the next 2 days, James received intensive cultural coaching. The delegation's xenoanthropologist explained what he'd stepped into. Velkari warrior culture valued direct acknowledgement of strength and worth, but such acknowledgements created social bonds and obligations. Commenting on a warrior's chest was particularly significant, acknowledging not just combat capability but core character, honorable conduct, worthiness as a warrior. The princess is going to want to know why you said it, the xenoanthropologist explained. Whether you were deliberately challenging her, whether you were trying to court attention, whether you were ignorantly repeating phrases, or whether you genuinely see her as an equal worth acknowledging. I said it because her armor is genuinely impressive, and I was trying to make a professional comment. That's not going to be a satisfying answer in Velkari cultural context. They don't separate warriors from their equipment. You need to decide whether you're going to claim ignorance, which is safe but diminishing, or whether you're going to own the statement as intentional acknowledgement. What happens if I own it? Then you're declaring yourself someone who sees Velkari royalty as equals. That's either brave or arrogant, but it would be respected if you can back it up with genuine recognition of what you were acknowledging. The private audience took place in a formal chamber. Princess Keira dismissed her advisors after initial formalities, leaving James alone with Velkari royalty. You spoke words to me during the inspection, Princess Keira began in careful English. Words that carry weight in my culture. I wish to understand why you spoke them. Were you ignorant of their meaning? Were you deliberately challenging me? Or did you genuinely see something worth acknowledging? James had had 2 days to prepare for this question, but standing here, all the prepared answers felt false. He chose honesty. I was ignorant of the cultural meaning, Your Highness. I meant to compliment the craftsmanship of your armor. The metalwork is genuinely impressive. I was trying to make appropriate professional observation, but I understand now that in your culture, the comment carried meanings I didn't intend. So you claim ignorance. That is the safe answer. Princess Keira's tone was neutral, but is it the complete answer? James considered this. No, I was ignorant of the cultural meaning, but I wasn't wrong about what I observed. Your armor is impressive because you're impressive. Your achievements, your command, your reputation. The armor reflects that. So while I didn't intend to issue any kind of challenge, I did intend to recognize genuine capability when I saw it. You see me as impressive, as an equal worth acknowledging directly. I see you as someone whose capabilities far exceed mine in most measurable ways. But yes, as someone worth acknowledging directly rather than carefully talking around. I don't have the social skills to perform elaborate deference gracefully. Direct acknowledgement of what's obvious seemed more honest. Honesty without calculation, that is rare. Princess Keira studied him with intense focus. Most who speak to me calculate their words carefully. You spoke without calculation and created significance you did not intend. That suggests either remarkable foolishness or remarkable courage. Probably the first one, Your Highness. Perhaps, but you own the statement now, even knowing its cultural weight. You do not retreat into pure claims of ignorance. That suggests courage alongside the foolishness. She paused. In my culture, when one warrior acknowledges another's chest, their core strength, it creates bond. Not of obligation, but of mutual recognition. You see me as worthy of direct acknowledgement. I see you as brave enough to speak such acknowledgement without fear. That creates potential. Potential for what? For alliance between our peoples built on mutual respect, rather than careful political calculation. For working relationship between us that is direct rather than filtered through diplomatic performances. She moved closer. Your words, accidentally spoken, have created an opening for something substantive. If you are willing to continue with the same direct honesty, we can build something valuable. Choose. James realized he was being offered something significant. The choice seemed clear. Continue with honest directness or retreat into safe performance. I'd prefer honest directness, Your Highness. I'm not skilled at diplomatic performance, and if there's value in working together without that barrier, I'd rather pursue that. Then we will build something together, Lieutenant Tors, based on the foundation of your accidentally honest words. You acknowledged my strength without calculation. I acknowledge yours, the courage to speak without fear and to own the consequences. That is worthy of respect. Over the following weeks, James found himself in an unusual position. Princess Keira had requested he attend various functions and discussions, explaining that his direct acknowledgement of worth had created a bond that made him valuable for building trust between their peoples. Practically, this meant James spent significant time in the princess's presence, at state dinners, at military strategy discussions, at cultural events. And throughout these interactions, the dynamic that started with his accidental comment continued to develop. Princess Keira treated him as something between colleague and potential rival, someone whose opinion she solicited directly, whose observations she took seriously, whose presence she seemed to value. You're building unusual relationship with Velkhari royalty, Ambassador Chen observed. She treats you as an equal in ways she doesn't treat our senior diplomats. That's valuable but highly irregular. I accidentally challenged her, and she found it interesting. That directness is what makes it work. But be aware that the relationship you're building is being interpreted in specific ways by Velkhari court. Some see it as appropriate warrior bond. Others see it as potential courtship. The lines are blurry in Velkhari culture. I'm not trying to court anyone. Impact matters more than intent. Just be conscious of how your interactions are being perceived. 3 months into the diplomatic mission, during a formal ceremony marking signed agreements, Princess Keira made a public statement. The foundation of this alliance was built on unexpected honesty. When Lieutenant Tors acknowledged my worth without calculation, without fear, without diplomatic performance, he demonstrated the kind of direct recognition my people value. That acknowledgement created bond between us, bond of mutual respect that has shaped these negotiations. I honor his courage in speaking plainly. Such courage is worthy of recognition. Later, during a private conversation in the palace gardens, Princess Keira addressed the situation more directly. You are aware that our interactions have created speculation about the nature of our bond. Ambassador Chen has mentioned speculation about whether I'm a rival or a potential something else. In Velkari culture, the distinction is less clear than you might think. Warriors who recognize each other's worth, who challenge each other, who speak with direct honesty, such warriors often become either valued rivals or valued mates. The path is determined through continued interaction. She moved closer. Your words invited challenge of intent. I have challenged you, testing whether your words came from courage or ignorance. You have answered every challenge with courage and honesty. You have proven yourself worthy. She studied his face. Now I acknowledge your worth in return, your courage in speaking without fear, your honesty in maintaining directness despite learning its weight. You are worthy of the bond your words created. The question is whether you wish that bond to develop as rivalry or as partnership. James tried to understand what she was offering. I'm not sure I understand the distinction in your cultural framework. Rivalry. We continue as respected equals who challenge each other professionally. Partnership. We build something more, alliance between us that extends beyond professional respect into genuine personal connection, into choosing to build strength together. She paused. Your accidental words have led to this moment. Now we choose what we build from that foundation. I'd like to build partnership, James said, the words feeling both momentous and surprisingly simple. Not because of diplomatic advantage, but because these past 3 months have shown me someone I genuinely respect and want to know better. Then we build partnership, based on the foundation of your accidentally honest words. She extended her hand in a Velkari gesture of bond creation. You acknowledged my chest, my core strength, my worth as a warrior. I acknowledge yours, courage, honesty, genuine recognition offered without calculation. He took her hand, her grip firm and warm. Partnership, then, Princess Keira said, built on honest recognition. You will continue to occasionally say inappropriate things without calculating their impact. I will continue to find that courage valuable, and we will build something together that transcends what either of us initially expected. Years later, diplomatic historians would cite Lieutenant Tor's remarkable diplomatic instinct in acknowledging Princess Keira's worth. They'd miss the simple truth. He'd accidentally complimented her armor without realizing the cultural weight, responded with honest directness when challenged, and built a relationship based on authentic recognition rather than diplomatic calculation. The human-Velkari alliance became one of the strongest in known space, and at its foundation was a moment of accidental honesty that became intentional partnership, all because one human said, "Your chest is so impressive," without knowing what he was really saying, and a